Got a minute?
What are you doing here?
I need a favor. I want to spend some time with you and the children.
Are you crazy?
Well, wait a minute, damn it.
Stop following me.
Well, I want my family back.
Well, you can't have it. I'm sorry for you, but it's too late.
There were 3 extraordinary children in the Tenenbaum family. Margot Tenenbaum was an acclaimed playwright and won a Pulitzer Prize in the 9th grade.
What'd you think, Dad?
Didn't seem believable to me.
Richie Tenenbaum was a champion tennis player ranked 2nd in the world by age 17. Chaz Tenenbaum was a financial expert and started buying real estate in his early teens.
I said sell it, yeah.
Well, I'm on my way.
They were brilliant. They were famous. They were unlucky enough to be the children of a man named Royal Tenenbaum.
He also stole bonds out of my safety deposit box when I was 14.
Now, for the first time in 22 years, they are all living together under the same roof.
I hear you're dying.
Oh, how long are you gonna last? A month? A year?
I've got 6 weeks to set things right. I want this family to love me.
Right, Lisa.
You know who I am? I'm your granddad.
His name is Royal Tenenbaum.
You told us he was already dead.
Let's hit it.
How are you feeling?
I'm having a ball. Scrapping and yelling.
You stay away from my children. Do you understand?
My God, I haven't been in here for years.
Hey! Are you listening to me?
Yes, I am! Mixing it up. Are you trying to steal my woman?
I beg your pardon.
I want you out of my house!
Oh, yeah?
Right on! Loving every minute with this damn crew.
What's so funny?
It's these little expressions of yours.
I don't know what you're talking about, but I'll take it as a compliment.
How interesting. How bizarre.
Well, 30 years ago, I was knifed in a bazaar in Calcutta. He carried me in the hospital on his back.
Who stabbed you?
He did.
All right, welcome back to our San Diego podcast. I am your host, The Swan, and this week is another Pawlak pick where our good friend and local projectionist, Chris Pawlak, hijacks the show to discuss a film that means a lot to him. So, how are you, man?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me on, as always.
Of course. I just wanted to say welcome back. So here is episode 225. I always wanted to be a Tenenbaum. This time around, we will be discussing Wes Anderson's 2001 film, The Royal Tenenbaums, obviously. But before we do that, let's warm up with a few intro segments, shall we?
Let's do it.
And now for a special news report. Brought to you by Drop the Mic.
All right, for news, did you have anything on your end?
I do not.
Yeah, even for me, I just have a couple pieces because there really wasn't a whole lot, out there. It's all F9 stuff. Seriously, it's like all the news is just where is it going next and all this kind of stuff. I don't know.
In the garbage, I hope.
Speaking of that, did you read Vin Diesel's interview where he was like, the people deserve an ending to this franchise, despite people thinking that it shouldn't have to end now. We will be ending it in 2024 or some shit like that. Oh, and then Universal wants them to team up with Jurassic World or some bullshit.
Stop with the crossovers, man. Remember when they were trying to push that Men in Black, 21 Jump Street crossover?
No.
Years ago?
I don't think I heard, like for the Jonah Hill one?
Yeah, Sony was trying to push that. It was why? What point is there to that?
That's weird. They're just trying to get, those fans to go see it together and hopefully make more money, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, no.
That's so weird. Studios can be weird sometimes.
They are just after the money. They don't give a shit about the artistic.
So no news from you whatsoever then?
Nope, not tonight.
All right, I have two just small things. Apparently, and I hadn't heard anything about this until just today. Paramount Plus, the new app that's out, is working on a Pet Sematary prequel that will see character Judd Crandell back and in his mid-20s. So obviously, this is going to be set decades, I guess, apart from the. I think this is going off of the remake that came out a couple years ago. So,
the only thing I remember from it might be in both movies was just the story that he told about the guy who came back. That's the only thing I remember about what happened to him before you meet him in the movie.
Yeah. This definitely seems like them trying to reduplicate the success of Bates Motel.
Yeah.
A little bit. Not sure how I feel about it. But I mean, they're going to do what they're going to do, I suppose.
Try to make money.
Yeah. And then next up, I guess, and I'm not sure if you heard this already either, but M. Night Shyamalan's newest film, Old, has, of course, a trailer already. I think that actually came out during the Super Bowl officially.
Yeah.
But he, I guess he came out saying that he hasn't actually settled on a real ending for the film yet.
Well, I hope he settled on an ending. It's got to be shot by now.
The production's done, but I'm assuming they've.
Is he still editing?
Yeah, he must be like wrapping up. He must have shot multiple endings. I'm assuming if he's able to have this kind of freedom. But yeah, supposedly he hasn't actually finished the film yet. And it's supposed to come out pretty soon, I think.
Yeah, it's a summer movie, isn't it?
Yeah.
Better figure it out real quick.
He was saying something like he hasn't found like that gut punch the way that he did for Unbreakable. So he's trying to reduplicate, I guess, that kind of ending, if that makes any type of sense.
Kind of, but I mean, if you've gotten this far and you still don't know how your movie's going to end, that doesn't bode well.
Yeah.
That to me sounds like we're going to test audience the shit out of this movie, and whichever one plays the best is what we're going to go with.
Mm-hmm. Perhaps.
So it's ending by committee instead of an artistic vision.
So what do you think about? Are you excited for that movie? Are you on the fence about it?
I'm on the fence because I don't trust M. Night.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's a movie that I probably am not going to care to go watch, but once it's on cable or streaming or something, I might check it out.
I am curious to see how Gael plays with him, because that's a pretty
it's got a good cast.
Yeah, it's good cast so far. Hopefully it's just not some silly ending like The Happening.
Like The Happening. Good Lord.
Or The Village.
The Village is the worst imitation of a Twilight Zone episode I've ever seen.
Yeah, and that's all I had on the news front. Just two very, very fast pieces. Did you have anything for weekly recommendations?
I always have weekly recommendations for you.
All right, let's hear them.
My first one, since we're talking about, we'll be very upfront about this. We're talking about my favorite Wes Anderson film. Today, I want to recommend what is most likely my second favorite Wes Anderson film, and that's Moonrise Kingdom.
All right.
That's been making rounds on cable lately, so I've been catching it a lot again. And I really like it. It's a little bit different from what he's done before. It takes place in the 60s, and it's about two kids kind of falling in love and running away together. And it's got great performances from the two kids. It's got some really good performances from, surprisingly, Bruce Willis is very good in the movie. I think that's the same film that Ed Norton first joined up with the Wes Anderson players now.
Yep.
And he's very funny in the movie. And, you know, a great supporting role from both Frances McDormand and Bill Murray. And it's a movie that I really love. I think the soundtrack is great. The ending always makes me a little emotional, just because of, you know, how everyone's happiness, how everyone gets that kind of happy ending. And it's like I said, it's kind of a hard call for me to make, but I do think that's probably my second favorite of all of his movies.
Okay.
So, recommend that one. And the second one I have is a TV show that used to be on True TV, which I think is the channel where you get all your true crime and serial killer stuff. But it's a show called I'm Sorry with Andrea Savage, who you might recognize from... she was on Veep for a while. She's in Step Brothers. It's her show. She wrote and starred in it. And it's just a really funny show about this comedy writer who's, you know, raising a child and has a loving, supporting husband. And the rapport between her and her husband is fantastic. It's Tom Everett Scott, that's from that Thing You Do, and spoiler alert, is Emma Stone's husband at the end of La La Land.
He's also an American Werewolf in Paris?
Yes, yes, that's right, he is. He is the guy. He plays her husband, and they're so good together. And he does a great job of kind of walking the fine line of being the perfect straight man to all of her craziness and her hilarity, and then also being able to roll with it and be just as funny as she is. And their chemistry together is really great. There's a lot of cameos by, you know, funny people as different people playing her friends. Her parents, both in the show, are really, really funny. And I remember watching it and loving the show when it was on, you know, True TV, when it was on cable. But now since those seasons ended up on Netflix, like, they left in all the cursing. So it's really funny. It's really raunchy, and Andrea's always got some vulgar comeback or line that she has.
Also, what you're saying is when you watched it on TV, it was edited and not...
Yeah, it was edited, or at least the cursing was bleeped.
Oh,
and
okay.
I just did a rewatch of it on Netflix this last week or two, so all the cursing is left. And it's a really funny show that unfortunately only had 2 seasons. I believe they were going to do a third, and then the pandemic shut that down. And I think they ended the show. So like my dearly departed Detroiters that I love so much, it's got these 2 perfect seasons, and like that's it. Excuse me, but I'm Sorry is the name of the show, and you can find it on Netflix. I highly recommend it. Really funny.
Very nice. I'll have to put that on the queue.
Yes, do so.
All right. I have 2 for you as well. I will recommend my favorite Wes Anderson film. I'm not sure if this is controversial or not, but my favorite so far has to be Fantastic Mr. Fox.
How is that controversial? That's I think that run that he has between Fantastic Mr. Fox, Moonrise Kingdom, and Grand Budapest is great.
Can't argue there, yeah. I feel like maybe I should wait where we can discuss this more when we get into the show, but when I went to see Fantastic Mr. Fox at the